So yeah, everything is perfect, I suppose. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Abhijeet. So I will be okay. So we will continue biochemistry of carbohydrates part 3 as of now. Okay. So I will continue biochemistry of carbohydrates part 3 as of now. And today I will be discussing first the structure of the lactose. Today I will be focusing on the structure of lactose along with other structures. We were talking about disaccharides, and you already know we have two potential sugar units which are participating in the formation of a disaccharide. Okay. So yes. So we will start up with the lactose now. Yeah, we'll start up with the lactose. Just a moment. Check. So we already know that the lactose, basically it is made up of two potential sugar units. It is a disaccharide and it is made up of galactose, and along with galactose it is made up of glucose. It is made up of galactose, and along with galactose it is made up of glucose. So first I will try to draw the normal structures of both the galactose and glucose, and I will show you the linkage. Then we will move on to the cyclic bonds. In cyclic structures I will show the bond. Okay, so let's start with the structure of, first I have written galactose. So first I will make the structure of galactose. You already know it is a 6 carbon compound. It is a 6 carbon compound. It is a 6 carbon compound. Okay, so yeah, we will number all the carbons over here. 1 2 3 4 5 6. We will number all the carbons over here. That is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and now we already know at first position we have the functional group over here. At first position we have the functional group, that is the aldehyde group, that is C double bond O, and H, that is the aldehyde group. Okay, which is present at the first carbon, Now moving on to the other carbons over here, you already know in galactose we are actually in galactose, basically you know that this is the right side and this is the left side. Okay, this is the right side, this is the left side. In the right side it is the OH group which is present over here. Okay, and in the fifth place it is the OH. Osama, good evening. I hope it's working right now, the chat box and everything, I suppose. Osama, just give me a thumbs up if everything is working perfectly right over here. Yeah, Siddhi, good evening. Finally. Yeah, okay, Osama. I think the things are like perfectly working perfect, I suppose. Class already like started. I don't know why you guys got late. Good evening, good evening. I hope it's already like been started. So yes, now yeah, good evening, Remsha. So now actually we are moving on to the structure of lactose right now over here. We are actually going to discuss the structure of lactose. As you all know, lactose is a disaccharide. It is made up of two potential sugar units, that is the galactose and the glucose. That is the galactose and the glucose. And secondly, you have, like you remember, key first we will try to draw the straight chain structures of both the compounds, that is the galactose and glucose, and then I will try to show you the linkage in the cyclic form. You know that galactose is basically a 6 carbon compound. I have named those 6 carbon from 1 to 6, and you already know the OH group is basically present in all places, okay, except the third and the fourth, where the OH is basically present in the left hand side, okay, whereas the last one you already know, it is CH2OH, and rest, just to balance, I will put the H hydrogen bonds, okay, the hydrogen bonds over here. So you already know कि गैलेक्टोज और ग्लूकोज के स्ट्रक्चर में इतना ही फर्क है कि थर्ड प्लेस पर, सिर्फ थर्ड प्लेस पर हाइड्रोजन इस साइड होता है, बल्कि गैलेक्टोज में थर्ड और फोर्थ दोनों प्लेस पर हाइड्रोजन जो है इट विल बी ऑन द राइट हैंड साइड. दोनों प्लेस पर हाइड्रोजन जो है इट विल बी ऑन द राइट हैंड साइड. Okay, so yes, we have drawn the structure of galactose. Now moving on to the structure of glucose. Glucose structure is very easy. I have already told we have to draw the 6 carbon compound. We have to draw the 6 carbon compound, and you are well aware that the 6 carbon compound, okay, 6 carbon compound, the functional group is basically present at the first carbon, that is the aldehyde group, that is CHO group, okay, that is the aldehyde group which is present over here, okay. Apart from that, guys, you are very well aware कि जो OH group है, the OH group, okay, it is basically in all the carbons it is on the right hand side, in all the carbons it is on the right hand side except the third one, where the OH group is basically present on the left hand side, okay. And just to compensate and balance, I will put hydrogen, okay. So just remember कि OH जो है ग्लूकोज वाले स्ट्रक्चर में it is present on the right hand side except at the third carbon where the OH is present on the left hand side, okay. So this is a normal structure of a galactose along with the glucose. And now since I'm talking about the disaccharide, that is the lactose, how the bond formation takes place. So just first remember this कि these both are different compounds, okay. These are not same, these are not glucose, okay. These are different structures, galactose and glucose both. So both these compounds are different, so that's why I'm using the term beta over here. That's why I'm using the term beta over here. Beta अल्फा तब यूज करता अगर दोनों स्ट्रक्चर्स ग्लूकोज के होते तो. अब क्योंकि यहाँ पर एक स्ट्रक्चर गैलेक्टोज का है और एक स्ट्रक्चर ग्लूकोज का है, सो आई एम यूजिंग द टर्म बीटा ओवर हियर, ओके. एंड रिमेंबर इट इज फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट कार्बन टू द फोर्थ कार्बन. It is from the first carbon to the fourth carbon. You can very well see over here. It is from the first carbon to the fourth carbon, okay, beta, and it is 1 to 4. linkage, beta 1 to 4 linkage, beta 1 to 4 linkage. Remember guys, key beta, why I have used the term? Because we have two different structures over here. If both the structures are of the same compound, अगर मैंने दोनों glucose लिए होते, then it would be it would have been alpha. But right now it is beta because these are both different compounds. Secondly, now can anyone tell me it is a reducing sugar or a non-reducing sugar? Anyone in the chat box would like to intimate me whether it is a reducing sugar or a non-reducing sugar, and why? So remember, it is the beta 1,4 linkage. Okay, it is the beta 1 to 4 linkage. Yeah, it is a reducing sugar. Yeah, it is a reducing sugar. Siddhi, yes. Why? See, Osama, yeah, it's right. It is a reducing sugar. Yes, perfect, perfect. It is a reducing sugar. Why beta? Because you can see that there is a free functional group which is present at the first carbon in glucose. Glucose का जो functional group है, that is the aldehyde group. It is free. Why it is free? Because it is not taking part in the bond formation. It is not taking part in the bond formation. Yes, it is right. Okay, it is not taking part in the bond formation. So we have a free functional group. Free functional group. And remember, it is a reducing disaccharide. It is a reducing disaccharide, okay? And why it is reducing? Because it is containing a free functional group that can be further be reduced, okay? That's why it's a reducing disaccharide, okay? Now this is a simple structure. I will draw, जो तुम्हारे पेपर में आएगा, जो तुम्हारे एग्जाम में पूछा जाएगा, like draw the lactose in the cyclic form. और cyclic form में हम लोग bond formation देखेंगे. Cyclic form में हम लोग bond formation देखेंगे. So let us start with the, yes, so we will start with the, yeah, cyclic structure. We'll start with the cyclic structure. So now first I will try to draw the glucose. Okay, sorry, first I'll try to draw the galactose, and you can very well see galactose, basically it is a 6 carbon compound, okay? 5 are participating in the ring with the oxygen group, 5 are participating in the ring, okay? 5 are participating in the ring, okay? And remember, the sixth one, it is basically CH2OH, okay? CH2OH, okay? And over here we have H. So you already know कि this is the fifth one. Then it is linked to the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth. And at each places we have the compounds. Yeah, at each places we have H and OH, and you already know, you guys already know कि okay, चलो, you guys already know कि जितने भी हमारे यहाँ पे कंपाउंड्स हैं, ठीक है, इसमें H और OH जो है, ओके, ओके. Now tell me, at first carbon where will be the OH and the H present? Where will be the OH and the H present? So if I'm just trying to write it like the way you have learned along with me, OH will be on the right side, it will be like downwards, okay? Then we have H, okay? Then we have OH over here, H over here, OH over here, okay? Then at fourth carbon, H is over here, Oh, sorry. I have drawn wrong. Just a moment. I'll write it with a different pen so that you all are like more. सो या 1 में तो सिर्फ हाइड्रोजन ही बचा हुआ है ना, पहले कार्बन पे, ओके आई जस्ट फॉरगॉट इट, पहले कार्बन पर देखो सिर्फ हाइड्रोजन ही बचा हुआ है, तो हाइड्रोजन विल कम डाउन ओवर हियर, ओके, हाइड्रोजन विल कम डाउन ओवर हियर, ओके, तो फर्स्ट कार्बन पे। अब सेकंड कार्बन पे मैंने हमेशा बोला है जो OH है दैट इज ऑन द राइट साइड, इट विल कम डाउन, ओके, एंड H विल कम अप। जो राइट हैंड साइड वाली चीजें हैं वो नीचे की तरफ आएंगी और जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड वाली है वो ऊपर की तरफ आएगी, ठीक है। कमिंग ऑन टू द थर्ड पार्ट ऑल्सो, यू आर वेरी वेल अवेयर कि थर्ड में H इज ऑन द राइट साइड, ओके, और OH इज ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड, तो OH ऊपर। फोर्थ में भी H is on the right side, OH is on the up side. So we have drawn the structure like this, okay, we have drawn the structure like this, okay, and now you already know we have another structure that is the glucose, that is the glucose. Anushka Verma, good evening बच्चे, welcome to the session. ग्लूकोज का स्ट्रक्चर सबसे ज्यादा इजी है, ओके, ये फर्स्ट कार्बन हो गया, सेकंड कार्बन, थर्ड कार्बन, फोर्थ कार्बन, फिफ्थ है विच इज अटैच्ड टू द सिक्स, दैट इज CH2OH, दैट इज CH2OH, ओके। सो यस, नाउ यू आर वेरी वेल अवेयर कि ग्लूकोज का जो फर्स्ट कार्बन है, ठीक है, ग्लूकोज का जो फर्स्ट कार्बन है उसमें OH जो है इट इज ऑन द डाउन साइड, ओके, एंड H इज ओवर हियर, ओके, और गैलेक्टोज में भी OH जो है वी आर राइटिंग इट ओवर हियर, ओके, मैं OH लिखना भूल गया था, जस्ट मेंशन इट ओवर हियर, वो लिंकेज में ऐसे ही शो हो जाता है। सेकेंड कार्बन पर आपको पता ही है OH इज ऑन द राइट साइड, थर्ड पर H आएगा, दैट इज एन एक्सेप्शन, और OH ऊपर, OH यहाँ पे, H and simultaneously H is over here. So this is the cyclic structure of galactose. This is the cyclic structure of galactose along with the glucose. This is the cyclic structure of galactose along with the glucose. So now remember कि बीटा 1 to 4 लिंकेज है, देखो फर्स्ट कार्बन ये रहा और फोर्थ कार्बन ग्लूकोज का ये रहा, तो इन दोनों के बीच में लिंकेज शो करनी है, ठीक है। बीटा 1 to 4 लिंकेज है, बाय वाई बीटा, बीटा बिकॉज इट इज बोथ द कंपाउंड्स आर डिफरेंट, वन इज गैलेक्टोज एंड वन इज ग्लूकोज। नाउ व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल ट्राई टू रिमूव द वाटर, ओके, I will try to remove the water molecule, that is H2O, okay, I will try to remove the water molecule and both the compounds will get joined together, both the compounds will get joined together. So you can very well see कि we have this particular compound, okay, you will draw the whole of the structure again, but remember कि now this compound, only this particular oxygen is left. So this oxygen will actually get bond to this, okay, so yes, yeah, you can just draw like this. So this is the first carbon and this is the fourth carbon, and you can see a glycosidic bond between the first and the fourth carbon, that is via oxygen. ये जो oxygen green में हमारा बच गया था, we have removed a water molecule and that is why the structure, this is basically beta 1 to 4 linkage, beta 1 to 4 linkage between galactose and glucose. I hope this particular structure is clear to each and everyone. This particular structure is clear to each and everyone, I suppose. Just give me a thumbs up that you all like have understood. अगर पिछले वाले structures याद है तो ये बहुत ही easy हो जाएगा. Okay, perfect सिद्धि. चलो एक कंपाउंड लिख लो पहले, थोड़ा सा एक नोट्स में पॉइंट डालो. दैट इज द लैक्टुलोज. देखो लैक्टुलोज बेसिकली क्या होता है, इट इज गैलेक्टोज प्लस फ्रक्टोज. इट इज गैलेक्टोज प्लस फ्रक्टोज. रिमेंबर इट इज अ synthetic disaccharide. It is a synthetic disaccharide. Synthetic, why? Because we have made it. Human beings have made it. The compound that is named as lactulose. Okay, it is a synthetic because it is made by human beings. It's a disaccharide. Okay, because it is made up of two potential sugar units, that is galactose and fructose. When we talk about lactose, it is galactose plus glucose. When we talk about lactulose, it is galactose plus fructose. Apart from that, remember that it is a osmotic laxative. It is a osmotic laxative. Okay, basically in liver diseases, especially in fatty liver and in other cases, we are giving osmotic laxatives. Okay, that is the lactulose. Okay, basically it has a potential use in pharmacology. It has a potential, like we are using it in various liver diseases. Okay, that's why just a little info about the lactulose you should remember. Apart from that, the structure, the bonds is very much important. Yes, the bonds, it's very much important. Rimsha, okay, perfect. So now coming on to the sucrose, that is the last disaccharide that I wanted to discuss with you people. That is the last disaccharide that I wanted to discuss with you people, and you are very much aware that sucrose is basically a disaccharide which is made up of two sugar units, that is glucose plus fructose. Glucose plus fructose. You already know that sucrose is basically known as the table sugar, the sugar that you are using in common day life. Okay, or it is known as cane sugar. Okay, it is also known as the cane sugar or the table sugar. Okay, it is known as the cane sugar or the table sugar. So firstly, I'll try to draw the structure of glucose. You already know we have a 6 carbon compound. Okay, we have the 6 carbon compound, और यहाँ पे जो थर्ड कार्बन है, ठीक है, फर्स्ट कार्बन पर यू हैव द एल्डिहाइड ग्रुप, दैट इज द फंक्शनल ग्रुप. थर्ड कार्बन पर OH जो है, इट इज प्रेजेंट ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. ओके, and H is on the right hand side, whereas on all other carbons the OH is on the right hand side. The OH is on the right hand side. Okay, the OH is on the right hand side. Okay, and on the left hand side, just to balance, we have the H part. Only at the third carbon you can see a major change over here. Okay, so that is the simple structure of the glucose. Apart from that, now we are trying to draw the fructose. Fructose, you already know it is a keto sugar. Okay, keto. Now can anyone tell me कि keto वाला ग्रुप कौन से कार्बन पे प्रेजेंट होगा? कीटो जो फंक्शनल ग्रुप है, इट विल बी प्रेजेंट एट विच पर्टिकुलर कार्बन? ओके, कौन से कार्बन पर प्रेजेंट होता है? Waiting for the answers, but you guys are not studying, I suppose. So you already know we have a 6 carbon compound. we have a 6 carbon compound, and the keto group. The keto group, it is basically present at the second carbon. The functional group, it is present at the second carbon. Okay, CH2OH, CH2OH. The other structures remains the same, just as of like glucose. In the third carbon, you already know the OH will be present over here, the H will be present over here, just like glucose. Just like glucose, it is similar to glucose. Okay, and the OH on the right hand side, just like glucose, similar to glucose. Yes, Siddhi, it's on the second carbon. Yes, perfectly told. Okay, so it is the structure of fructose, and this is the structure of glucose. Now you already know we are having a linkage between the first carbon and the second carbon of glucose and the second carbon of fructose. So this is basically referred to as the alpha 1 beta 2 linkage. It is referred to as the alpha 1 beta 2 linkage. Now can anyone tell me whether it is a reducing sugar or a non-reducing sugar? Now can anyone tell me whether it is a reducing sugar or a non-reducing sugar? Meanwhile, I'm just explaining alpha 1 because we have one structure, that is glucose. Okay, beta 2 because we have another structure, that is fructose. We have two different structures and we have two different functional groups over here. One is the aldehyde group, one is the keto group. So basically, yeah, it is a non-reducing sugar. Perfect, Siddhi. So both the functional groups, okay, both the functional groups are basically involved in the linkage. Okay, that's why it is, yeah, it is a non-reducing sugar. Yes, Siddhi, Osama, Hazira, very good. Why it is non-reducing? क्योंकि glucose का functional group और fructose का functional group both are participating in the bond. That's why कोई भी free functional group नहीं है. So it is a non-reducing sugar. It is a non-reducing sugar because both the functional groups are participating. Why it is alpha 1 and beta 2? It is, yes, it is non-reducing, Rimsha. Perfect, beta. So why it is alpha 1? Alpha basically stands for the primary structure of the glucose. Beta stands for the fructose structure. Fructose and glucose are comparatively two different structures, and both the structures are having different functional groups. That's why alpha 1? Because the parent structure, that is the glucose, it is containing the functional group present at first position. That is why alpha 1. Why beta 2? Because beta is basically the other structure, that is the fructose, and carrying the functional group at the second position. No free OH, or I will say no free functional group. I will simply write there is no free functional group here because both the functional groups is inside the linkage. Both the functional group is inside the linkage. Okay. Now I will try to draw the cyclic structure. First I will draw the glucose. That is a very simple structure. You already know. We have a 5-membered ring. Okay. The 5th carbon is attached to the first carbon via the oxygen bond, then to the second, then to the third, then to the fourth, and 5th is attached to the 6th one. That is I don't know why it is not working. पेन ही खराब हो गया. Guys, just try to draw the structure. Meanwhile, I'm just working on my pen. Well, the saga continues. I don't know, the system is hanged, I suppose. Just working on it. Just wait for a second, guys. I think it's just it's heated. Just a moment. Meanwhile, can anyone tell me what structure basically it is? Tree halos. उसमें कौन कौन से sugars participate करते हैं और उसमें कौन सी linkage present होती है? Just kindly write it in the chat box if you are aware of the structure that is called as tree halos. Tree halos, and after that just give me the definition of a polysaccharide. What is a polysaccharide and how many sugar units are basically like, yeah. anyone who can tell me ट्री हेलोस में कौन कौन से like monosaccharides are there? Yes. चलो ट्री हेलोस ग्लूकोज प्लस ग्लूकोज सिद्धि परफेक्ट perfect. What about rest, guys? Anyone who would like to disaccharide formed by 2 glucose? Okay, perfect. अल्फा 1 ग्लाइकोसिटिक बॉन्ड, चलो ये भी ठीक है. ओके, नॉट एन इशू. या अल्फा 1 ग्लाइकोसिटिक बॉन्ड इज देयर. ओके, तो सुक्रोज का स्ट्रक्चर अभी हम लोग देख रहे थे. सुक्रोज का स्ट्रक्चर अभी हम लोग देख रहे थे. I hope everyone can see my presentation now. I hope everyone can see my presentation. Yes. Classes will be conducted in a regular mode from now. और बायोकेमिस्ट्री तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है. बिना बायोकेमिस्ट्री के यू गाइस कैन नॉट लाइक लर्न एनीथिंग. आई होप माई राइटिंग एंड एवरीथिंग इज विजिबल नाउ. एवरीथिंग इज वर्किंग परफेक्ट. टेक्नोलॉजी है बच्चे, तो ये तो ऑन लाइव क्लासेस में कुछ भी हो सकता है. सो यस, so this is the structure of glucose. Now I'm just trying to focus on the structure of sucrose. I'm just trying to focus on the structure of glucose, and you are very well aware कि glucose में जो first carbon है उसमें H ऊपर होगा, OH is on the right hand side, OH is on the right hand side, तो नीचे H ऊपर. थर्ड वाले कार्बन में आप लोगों को पता ही है, no need to tell you that थर्ड कार्बन में basically H is on the down, OH is on the first, and on the fourth carbon OH is down. Okay, OH is down. Why? Because it is on the right hand side. Okay, why? Because it is on the right hand side, and H on the left hand side. That is why it is on the top. That is why it is on the top. Now coming on to the next structure, that is the fructose. Now we are going to draw the structure, cyclic structure of fructose that I have already told you. Okay, furanose ring. Okay, furanose ring, and you are very well aware that yeah, it is the second carbon and it is the fifth carbon which is attached over here. Fifth carbon is attached to the sixth carbon, that is the CH2OH. Okay, and at the second carbon, basically the first carbon is basically out of the linkage, that is CH2OH. Okay, that is CH2OH, and over here we have the OH present. Okay, the third carbon, you already know, it's just like the glucose. third carbon का hydrogen नीचे और OH ऊपर, and in the fourth carbon OH is like same and H is over here. So just it is same. You already know कि थर्ड कार्बन पे जो ग्लूकोज है उसमें OH is on the top side, and over here also the OH is on the top side. Okay, so you are very well aware कि ये वाला जो structure है that is of a fructose. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to remove a water molecule. Okay, I'm just trying to remove the water molecule from the first carbon of the glucose and from the second carbon. Okay, of the fructose, second carbon of the fructose. So what will happen, now, as soon as this is basically a water molecules get removed, the same structure is there, okay, the same structure is there, and remember it is the H, okay, the same structure, you have to draw it again, and this bond is basically referred to as the alpha, okay, that is referred to as the alpha 1 beta 2 linkage, alpha 1 beta 2 linkage, okay, basically fructose is in the beta form, that's why alpha 1 beta 2 linkage, and the same structure you have to just copy it over here, okay, and that is how a sucrose is formed, okay, the oxygen bond, the glycosidic bond between the first carbon atom of the glucose and to the second carbon atom of the fructose, okay. So yes, now coming on to the other structures, I hope you all understood this, guys. I hope you all understood this. चलो एक thumbs up दे देना. Meanwhile, I'm just writing about trehalose, as one of you rightly said, it is glucose plus glucose. It is glucose plus glucose. Basically, carbon 1 of glucose is linked with the carbon 1 of glucose, and it is carbon 1 to 1 linkage, and remember it is a non-reducing sugar. Okay, yes, Siddhi, Hitesh, perfect beta. Hitesh, Rimsha, Hazira, Siddhi, perfect Hitesh. तो you guys can very well appreciate कि ग्लूकोज के फर्स्ट कार्बन पर ही CHO ग्रुप होता है और CHO के भी फर्स्ट कार्बन पर ही CHO ग्रुप होता है ना. तो अल्टीमेटली इफ बोथ द functional groups are participating in the linkage, it simply indicates that there is no free functional group present, and it is the alpha 1 to 1 linkage, okay, and it is the glycosidic linkage which is present. So this particular one will be a homework to you people. You will draw it in your like sheets. Navy, welcome. Yeah. So yeah, you will draw the structures of glucose. It's very easy, and you'll just try to show me the bond formation. Okay. Moving ahead to the next topic, that is the polysaccharides. Polysaccharides, basically you already know via the definition, it is consisting of more than 10 sugar units. It is consisting of more than 10 sugar units. It is further divided into two types. Okay. It is homo polysaccharide and it is hetero polysaccharide. It is homopolysaccharides and it is heteropolysaccharide. Homo का मतलब होता है same. So we already call it as homoglycan. Homoglycan, basically it simply means one type of sugar or monomer units. For example, if it is glucose, it will be like glucose throughout. Okay. If it is galactose, it will be galactose throughout. Okay. For example, write down most important one. We are going to discuss it one by one. Glycogen. Then we have starch, cellulose, inulin, and chitin. Glycogen, starch, cellulose, inulin, and chitin. Heteroglycan, basically simply means more than one type of monomer units, Example, aminoglycans, that is simply GAGs. We will discuss this topic separately, glycosaminoglycans. Okay, we have another example, okay, that is agarose, and we have pectin, agarose and pectin. So this is in nutshell what we are going to discuss in the topic of polysaccharides. Oligosaccharides नहीं पढ़ना है फिलहाल, हमने मोनोसेक्राइड्स पढ़ लिए, डाइसेक्राइड्स पढ़ लिए, पॉलीसेक्राइड्स में अभी ये सारे टॉपिक्स अभी थोड़ा थोड़ा करके हम लोग फटाफट से इसके बारे में नोट्स डालेंगे. ओके, थोड़ा थोड़ा करके नोट्स डालेंगे इसके बारे में. सो आई होप यू ऑल आर विद मी, राइटिंग एंड लर्निंग अलॉन्ग विद मी गाइस. तो कल भी क्लास होगी और अभी तो चल ही रही है क्लास, तो मेक श्योर यू आर अटेंडिंग इट. ओके, so the very first one, that is the glycogen. The very first one, that is the glycogen. Believe me, अगर डेली अटेंड करोगे आई विल बी लाइक फोकसिंग मोर, और हम लोग फिर जल्दी जल्दी चीज़ों को ख़त्म करेंगे. ठीक है, हम लोग जल्दी जल्दी चीज़ों को ख़त्म करेंगे इफ़ यू विल लाइक पार्टिसिपेट मोर. ओके, सो ग्लाइकोजन, राइट डाउन, इट इज मेड अप ऑफ alpha D glucose. It is made up of alpha D glucose. Remember, it is a branched polymer. It is a branched polymer. Okay, and it is storage form. ये अल्फा डी बीटा ये कौन से स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं, अभी आइसोमेरिज्म करवाऊंगा इस टॉपिक के बाद, तो अच्छे से क्लियर हो जाएगा, तो डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस. इट इज अ ब्रांच्ड पॉलीमर, अभी देखते हैं हम लोग. एंड इट इज द स्टोरेज फॉर्म ऑफ कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स. मैंने आपको बताया था ग्लाइकोजन, इट इज द स्टोरेज फॉर्म ऑफ कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स इन एनिमल्स. In animals, in humans, and you already know we call it as animal starch. We commonly call it as the animal starch. Okay, it is the storage form of carbohydrates in animals, commonly called as the animal starch. Okay, now you already know we have different glucose molecules. Okay, for example, if I just try to show you roughly, we have different glucose molecules. You already know. Now these glucose molecules are linked to each other. So it is a branched polymer. Now it is a straight chain, but I am saying it's a branched polymer. So we will have another glucose molecules which are like this. Okay, another glucose molecules which are like branched. Okay, which are like branched. So you can see this is the glucose. All the structure, all the glycogen is basically made up of glucose only. All glucose is there. Okay, all single units of glucose is there. Okay, सो रिमेंबर कि जब स्ट्रेट चेन की बात करते हैं, जब हम स्ट्रेट चेन की बात करते हैं, तो स्ट्रेट चेन में दो ग्लूकोज के बीच का जो लिंकेज होता है, ठीक है, दो ग्लूकोज के बीच का जो लिंकेज होता है, इट इज अल्फा 1 to 4 लिंकेज. अल्फा 1 to 4 लिंकेज बेसिकली इन द स्ट्रेट वन. ओके, जब स्ट्रेट कनेक्शन है. ठीक है, apart from that, if we talk about the glucose in the branched form, okay, तो यहाँ पर अल्फा 1 to 6 लिंकेज देखने को मिलती है. ओके, अल्फा 1 to 6 लिंकेज, दोनों ही ग्लाइकोसिडिक लिंकेज है, दोनों ही ग्लाइकोसिडिक लिंकेज है. ओके, दोनों ही ग्लाइकोसिडिक लिंकेज है. सो बेसिकली इट इज अ ब्रांच्ड पॉलीमर. ब्रांचिंग पर आपको 1 to 6 अल्फा 1 to 6 मिलेगी, और स्ट्रेट चेन में आपको 1 to 4 मिलेगा लिंकेज. स्ट्रेट चेन में 1 to 4 और ब्रांच्ड फॉर्म में 1 to 6 लिंकेज देखने को मिलती है. ओके, सो राइट डाउन दैट glycogen is basically stored in two sites, and that was a question in the exam. Glycogen is stored in two sites. You already know one is the liver and the other one it is the muscles. One is the liver and the other one it is the muscles. Now see, if I take the example of, like, I just draw simply, suppose दिस इज द लिवर, हमारा प्यारा लिवर, और ये हमारे हो गए मसल. So we have two storage sites of glucose in our body. One is the liver and one is the muscle. We have two storage sites for glycogen in our body. One is the liver and one is the muscle. So in the liver, you are very well aware, it is basically stored in aggregates of beta particles, जिसको हम रोसेट बोलते हैं, basically they are aggregates of beta particles one upon another, basically in a stack form. So it is basically the rosette, okay, that is stored in the liver. And in muscle, basically we have the beta particles, and remember that single beta particle has 60,000 glucose units. Single beta particle has 60,000 glucose over here, 60,000 glucose. Now remember, write down one point, that total content of glucose, it is basically more in the muscle. You can see over here, it is like one beta particle is consisting of 60,000 glucose, which is not like over here in liver. So total content of glucose, it is basically more in the muscle, But if the question says, what is the percentage by tissue volume? So it simply means glycogen is more in the liver. Why? Because rosettes of beta particle is highly condensed. Okay, it is highly condensed, or I can simply say it is densely packed. Okay, it is densely packed. ठीक है, बहुत ही ज़्यादा तोड़ मरोड़ के उसको एक मतलब इतने बड़े स्ट्रक्चर को एकदम कंप्रेस करके बेसिकली रखा जाता है. सो परसेंटेज पर टिश्यू वॉल्यूम बोले तो जितना टिश्यू है उस हिसाब से ग्लाइकोजन जो है लिवर में ज़्यादा देखने को मिलता है, बिकॉज इट इज़ एक्चुअली compressed and densely packed. Okay, so yeah, it is more in muscle if we just focus on the content of the glucose, whereas when we talk about the percentage by tissue volume, it will be more in case of liver. Coming on to the next structure, that is the starch. And remember that starch, it is the storage form. Okay, it is the storage form of carbohydrates in plants. It is the storage form of carbohydrates in plants. Okay, and you already know we have two types of starch. One is the amylase, and the other one, it is the amylopectin. We have amylase, and the other one, that is the amylopectin. Now what is the basic difference between both the structures? You should, like from your previous knowledge, you should remember that amylase is basically soluble and amylopectin, it is basically insoluble. Okay, amylase, it is a unbranched structure. Okay, okay, whereas when we talk about amylopectin, it is highly branched. Structure. Okay, so amylase is basically soluble, unbranched. Amylopectin, it is insoluble and it is highly branched. It is highly branched. So you can very well remember कि we have the, okay, so it is, amylase is somewhat like the structure like this. It is not branched. Basically all the glucose molecules are like present in this particular fashion. Okay, so basically the glucose molecules are basically present in this particular fashion. Okay, so remember, yeah, these are the glucose molecules. And if we talk about amylopectin, so remember that it is a highly branched structure. So we have a straight chain, then we have branches at several points. Okay, then we have branches at several points, and that is the key feature of amylopectin. It is a branch structure, whereas when we compare it with the amylase, like amylase is an unbranched structure, amylopectin is a branched structure. Okay, so that is the basic difference between the amylase and amylopectin. That is the two forms of starch that is present. Moving ahead with the next structure, that is the cellulose. And remember that cellulose is the major dietary fiber. Okay, cellulose, it is the major dietary fiber. Cellulose, basically it is the major dietary fiber. Okay, so it is basically consisting of beta D glucose. What is beta, what is D? D is dextrorotatory, we will learn in isomerism, but for the time being just remember it is consisting of beta 1 to 4 linkage. Okay, normally we have alpha 1 to 4 linkage, over here we have beta 1 to 4 linkage. And remember, human lacks enzyme to hydrolyze beta 1 to 4 linkage. Enzyme is called as cellulase. Basically the humans are lacking this particular enzyme. That's why we are not able to digest cellulose. Okay, we are not able to digest cellulose because it is consisting beta 1 to 4 linkage. Okay, coming on to the next one, that is chitin. And chitin, can anyone tell me कि chitin किसकी exoskeleton में मिलता है देखने को? Where is chitin? You will find chitin somewhere. You might have read in your, from your class 11th knowledge. Where is this particular chitin present, guys? Exoskeleton of insects. So write down, it is a homopolysaccharide. Found in, yes, exoskeleton of insects. It is a homopolysaccharides, yes, arthropods. Very good, Hazira. Very good, Siddhi. Perfect. Yes. Exoskeleton of insects, and basically it consists of a compound that is named as N-acetyl glucosamine. That is simply NAG. नाग, वो नाग पंचमी वाला नाग नहीं है. It is N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay, it is N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay, yeah, it's arthropods, Rimsha. Perfect. It is N-acetyl glucosamine, that is NAG. So just a little about this. Coming on to the next, that is the inulin. Remember that inulin is basically a homopolysaccharide. Okay, it is a polymer of beta D fructose known as fructosin. Okay, and inulin is basically an external agent. आप लोग फिजियोलॉजी में भी पढ़ोगे that this agent is basically used to check, it is used to check the GFR of a patient. What is GFR? That is the glomerular filtration rate. That is the glomerular filtration rate. It is the GFR, and the test which is used to check the GFR, which is used to check the functioning of the kidneys. Okay, whether the kidneys are functioning perfectly or not, all the like blood is getting perfectly purified or not. So this test is basically known as the inulin clearance test. It is known as the inulin clearance test. Okay, you already know that inulin is found abundantly. This was a question which has been asked in the exam. ये दोनों ही points important है, दोनों पे डॉलर लगा लो. It is found abundantly in dahlia, chicory roots, garlic, etc. Okay, so it is found abundantly in dahlia, chicory roots, garlic, etc. Okay, so these are some compounds where you can find inulin. Coming on to the next one, that is the dextrin and the dextrine. Okay, that is the dextrin and the dextrine. Now these are two different compounds. These are two different compounds. And remember, dextrin is basically homopolysaccharide of glucose. Homopolysaccharide of glucose. And it is a plasma volume expander. It is a plasma volume expander. प्लाज्मा के जो अंदर वॉल्यूम जो होता है, बेसिकली प्लाज्मा का जो कंटेंट है, ओके, इनसाइड द सेल, उसको एक्सपैंड करने में बेसिकली जस्ट ट्राई टू इंक्रीज द वॉल्यूम ऑफ द सेल बाय इंक्रीजिंग द प्लाज्मा कंटेंट ऑफ द सेल. So yes, it is a plasma volume expander. Coming on to the dextrin part, remember it is the hydrolytic product of starch. Hydrolytic product of starch, and it is an oligosaccharide. It is an oligosaccharide. Okay. ग्लूकोज को हम लोग डेक्सट्रोज भी बोलते हैं ना, ग्लूकोज को हम लोग डेक्सट्रोज बोलते हैं, दैट इज अगेन अ डिफरेंट टर्म. ग्लूकोज को हम लोग डेक्सट्रोज भी बोलते हैं, दैट इज अगेन अ डिफरेंट टर्म. And remember that it is dextrorotatory. It is dextrorotatory. Okay, it is dextrorotatory. Coming on to the last one, that is the pectin. And remember that the pectin is basically considered as dietary fiber. It is considered as dietary fiber. It is considered as the dietary fiber. It is a heteropolysaccharide, as I have already told you. It is a heteropolysaccharide. Okay. So basically pectin is made up of galacturonic acid, galacturonic acid with arabinose, okay, and majorly you will find the galacturonic acid like more in number as compared with arabinose. So yes, it was something about pectin, dextran and dextrin, which is very much different from dextrose. Dextrose is basically glucose, glucose is dextrorotatory. I'll just discuss the isomerism in the next class, that I'll let you know. We have discussed the inulin, chitin, cellulose, starch, glycogen, polysaccharides, trehalose, structure of sucrose, done. So I hope till now everything is clear. Now we will start with the oxidation of sugars. I hope till now everything is clear to each and everyone. Yeah. Sure. Perfect. एक thumbs up दे देना that you all are aware, like you all are getting the things clear. Now first I will try to Siddhi perfect what is the concept behind the oxidation of sugars. Now first I will try to like make you understand what is the, yeah, Hazira, perfect beta, perfect. First I will try to clear the concept that what do you simply understand by the oxidation of sugars. You already know we have an aldehyde group, and along with the aldehyde group we have the keto group. We have the aldehyde group, we have the keto group. You already know कि ये दोनों ही शुगर के फॉर्म्स हैं, ये दोनों ही शुगर के फॉर्म्स हैं, और जब इनका ऑक्सीडेशन होता है, when they are oxidized, रोहित, perfect, when they are oxidized it leads to the formation of acid. Okay, it leads to the formation of acid. So it simply means when sugars are basically glucose, galactose, fructose, all the sugars basically consisting of the aldehyde group, the keto group, okay, aldehyde group that is the CHO group, and keto group that is C double bond O. Okay, Nimsha, perfect. So what is happening, these functional groups, these sugars, whenever they are oxidized, okay, whenever they are oxidized, they will lead to the formation of acid. They will lead to the formation of acid. Now coming on to the other hand, one more concept. If these both compounds are reduced, if these both compounds are reduced, then it will lead to the formation of alcohol. Okay, it will lead to the formation of alcohol. In simple words, when sugars are reduced, they will, like, a compound will be retained that is called as an alcohol. So whenever the sugars will be oxidized, it will lead to the formation of acid. Whenever these sugars are reduced, it will lead to the formation of alcohol. So now we are going to see one by one all the oxidation structures and everything. Okay, all the oxidation structures and everything. So now start. So the very first one, if we talk about mild oxidation of glucose. Okay, now if we talk about the mild oxidation, write down the first point, और ये सारे पेपर में पूछे जाएंगे, सारे स्ट्रक्चर्स, सारी रिएक्शन, सब कुछ पेपर के अंदर पूछा जाएगा. तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी मच परफेक्ट. पेपर में एक एक चीज पूछी जाएगी और ये सारे स्ट्रक्चर्स आने चाहिए कि माइल्ड ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ ग्लूकोज की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं. ओके, माइल्ड ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ ग्लूकोज. ओके, now you already know, first we will try to draw this structure. We have 6 carbons. You already know कि थर्ड कार्बन पर ग्लूकोज में H is on this side, OH is on this side, और बाकी सब जगह OH is on the right hand side. OH is on the right hand side. बार बार स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाओगे तभी याद होगा, और फर्स्ट पोजीशन पे यू हैव द एल्डिहाइड ग्रुप. बार बार स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाओगे तो ही स्ट्रक्चर्स याद होंगे, नहीं तो नहीं होगा. तो ग्लूकोज, अब हम लोग यहाँ पे ले रहे हैं कि इफ सपोज द C1 that is the functional group over here, it is oxidized. If C1 is oxidized, that is mild oxygen. Now this aldehyde will lead to the formation of acid. It will lead to the formation of acid. And which acid it will form? That is COOH. ऑक्सीजन जोड़ दो, ऑब्वियसली एक ऑक्सीजन जोड़ दोगे यहाँ पे तो ये COOH आ जाएगा, एक एक्स्ट्रा ऑक्सीजन आ गया. सो इट सिंपली मीन्स कि यहाँ पर हमारा एसिड बन गया, और बाकी पूरा स्ट्रक्चर ऐसा ही सेम रहेगा. बाकी पूरा स्ट्रक्चर ऐसा ही सेम रहेगा. बाकी पूरा स्ट्रक्चर ऐसे ही सेम रहेगा. और ये जो स्ट्रक्चर अब बनकर आया है जिसमें फर्स्ट कार्बन पर हमें एसिड देखने को मिल रहा है, इट इज नोन एज एल्डोनिक एसिड. अंडर माइल्ड ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ ग्लूकोज एट कार्बन 1 वेयर द फंक्शनल ग्रुप इज ऑक्सीडाइज्ड, this aldehyde will lead to the formation of acid, and that is called as the eldonic acid. Eldonic acid commonly known as the gluconic acid. Commonly known as the gluconic acid. Okay, gluconic acid, eldonic acid or the gluconic acid. We will write the clinical significance of this, और clinical significance के लिए आप हमेशा ये चीज बनाएंगे जो मैं ये बना रहा हूँ. This arrow basically stands for clinical significance. Clinical significance. Okay. So it is an enzymatic method. It is an enzymatic method of blood glucose oxidation. Okay, where you can calculate the blood oxidation level. Okay, blood sugar level. Okay, blood में कितना glucose जो है, how it is oxidizing. Okay, that's the enzymatic method to know the content. If we just know the content of the eldonic acid in the blood, simply like, okay. So yes, that was about the first one. Okay, that was about the first one where the first carbon is oxidized, and the first carbon consists of the aldehyde group. Yes, and when it will be oxidized, it will lead to the formation of acid. Coming on to, okay, slides are end now, so I hope we will continue now tomorrow. I hope you all understood. We will now continue it tomorrow, and I hope you all understood today's lecture. Tomorrow at the same time I will continue. I will share the link soon. I will be taking classes daily now. Okay, so yes, I hope you all understood. बीच में थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल इशू हो गया था. नेक्स्ट टाइम आई डोंट थिंक इट विल बी रिपीटेड, सो डोंट वरी, बिल्कुल भी टेंशन नहीं लेना है. ठीक है, चलो, परफेक्ट. ओके सिद्धि, परफेक्ट 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 सिद्धि. ओके हरकेश, परफेक्ट. रिमशा, ओके. चलो, I'll just wind the session.